My name is Tessa and I'm a domestic violence survivor. I'm also a burn survivor. The two go hand in hand. I became a burn survivor by way of a domestic violence attack. My boyfriend had intentionally set me on fire and left me for dead August 20th, 2012. But I had used the Women's Center services even years before that. Unfortunately, domestic abuse tends to be a life cycle sometimes, you know. A lot of times you grow up with that and then you grow into that, and unfortunately I think you feel like maybe that's normal. So I got into another abusive relationship, and this time it was the definition of an abusive relationship on every level. At first it started out perfect, you know, what relationship doesn't start out perfect? But it quickly changed, and I chose to ignore the signs. I was in a bad place in my life. I was an addict. I didn't even think to save myself. And that was the thing. Not that I wanted to be in that situation and in that kind of relationship, but at that point, I wasn't sure I was even worth saving. And I think that a lot of people feel that way when they're in that kind of situation, especially when you're in that situation more than once, and you're like, I must be doing this to myself. And that's just not the truth. That's just not the truth. When I dealt with the Women's Center, I went back so many times, and the lady just told me, you don't need that. You don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. And I think I knew that, but I needed to hear it from somebody else. To know that there is always something to turn to, someone to turn to for help, and to know that I can also use the Women's Center to give back and to help. Instead of that life cycle of abuse, it's a life cycle of hope. Sometimes all you really need to do is just make a phone call, and you don't have to know what to do. You don't have to know what you're going to do next or where you're going to go next, because you can have people to help you figure that out and to help you make those steps and get you safe. I thought the fault was mine. I thought that it was me, and I attracted bad, or I picked horrible, or just maybe that's what I deserved. I gave up, but dating wasn't an option. It just wasn't, and just no way. And then I met my husband, and I certainly never thought that I would be in a good, healthy, stable relationship with a man that treats me like I'm just perfect. I mean, nobody's perfect, but he looks at me like I am. I don't know, it's not a fairy tale. I know that sounds so cheesy, but it kind of feels like that, and I don't even know one to compare it to, like, it's not Cinderella. I wasn't a maid, but I sure had a hell of a life before this. Whether it's domestic violence or something else, everybody goes through something, but I feel like when you go through something horrible and life-altering or changing or disfiguring or whatever it is, it's your responsibility to help other people get on that other side, and to always remember what it was like to be there, and just do whatever you can to help people get over here where you are, because it's just so beautiful over here. There are places like the Women's Center. You can go to that, and you can find that solace, you can find that peace, and you can find that safety. And love doesn't hurt. Love's not perfect, but love doesn't hurt. You're worth loving, and that second chance is out there. That second chance is out there. Just don't give up on yourself.